Hey, I have a 6-step morning process that's helped me be elite in all areas of my life. I played professional baseball. In the military, I achieved some great things by being an Army Ranger, airborne, air assault, all the cool guy stuff that you see on TV. And now in business, I own multiple companies, I have multiple investments, and I've found a way to be successful. And it all starts in the morning. Now, I didn't wake up this way and say, "Oh, I'm going to run through all these things." It wasn't until I thought to myself, I need to be combat ready. In the military, we talk about being combat ready. That's being mentally strong, physically strong, and spiritually strong so that you can step off and get right into action at the beginning of the day. And truthfully, I was always a morning person. I always had energy in the morning. And so the things that resonated with me were the, hey, swallow the frog right up front. Yeah, I mean, if there was something that was challenging for me, I would go do that in the morning. But it wasn't until I read the book written by Hal Elrod, The Miracle Morning, that brought structure into it. And so that I could tie everything that I knew was important about being a constant producer and a steady leader and putting a model behind it. And so I'm so grateful for that book because it gave me a 6-step process that when I do this every morning, it allows me to be a professional athlete. It allows me to be a great physical asset from an energy standpoint. It allows me to make great decisions on the business front and be creative where maybe I wouldn't be so creative all the time. And so I want to walk through that with you, and and it's right here on the board. So first, I wake up very early. And when you wake up that early, no normal human being can get up that early without coffee. And so I start with coffee. Now, in that coffee phase, I am getting myself in a mindset of growth, and usually I'm excited. I'm excited to start doing the next steps. But I am thinking as I'm producing the coffee, just so that I can attack these next 5 steps with the intensity that I want at the end of all of this that I have together, that energy. So, second, scripture. Now, part of being combat ready and being a steady leader, I believe, is being spiritually sound. And the yoke of this world can be so heavy, but when you're spiritually healthy and you carry God's yoke, you're not going to let the demands of the world influence your decisions. And so I think you have to start with the word every single day. There's so much wisdom that I gather from that. And I'm able to look at the world with spiritual eyes, not worldly eyes. And problems just seem to make sense. The solutions come to you when you put on those spiritual lenses and you can see the world that way. I don't think that us as human beings are just normally wired that way. I think the normal way that we're wired is to acknowledge fear and let the world dictate to us what we're going to do. And so that's why I do this. This is why I read the scripture. This is why I make sure that I'm spiritually strong, is so that I start my day with the wisdom of love and that easy yoke so that I can go out into the world and treat people the way that they should be treated and make decisions with a more spiritual mindset, not a worldly mindset. And so once I'm done with that, I move to a business book. Now, I'm a pretty creative guy, but most of my creativity comes by looking from other people's models that they've been successful, and they share those in the books, and then saying to myself, can I apply this person's model to my business? And if so, how would I innovate on top of that to make sure that it leverages my own personal strengths? And so every single morning, 7 days a week, I read a business book and I'm hungry for other people's models, other people's ways of success so that I can implement it into my life and so that I can teach things that I want to do to people in a way that they can understand it. And the books just simplify it for me. And you have to be an implementer. You just can't read and think, "Oh, that's great," and not do anything with it. That's what most of the world would do. You have to be able to read and then you have to be able to take that and go do something with it. And so that's where the secret sauce is. That's where the creativity actually turns into action, is when you read the book, you grab the model, and then you take the model to work, teach everybody that model, and then hold people accountable to getting it done. Okay, so I get creativity from it, I get ideas from it, and a little bit every single day, I'm making sure that I'm not the lid of my business. That the business's leader is getting more and more business savvy from just learning from people every day. And that's why you got to read your business book every single day. Now, once I move on from the business book, I journal. I'm writing these models down, and then I share it with the world. And that's great accountability. If people are expecting me to post every single day that I'm learning something, that's great accountability to just reading in the first place. So I read and then I journal and then I share it with the world. And I've got to understand it enough so that I can write it and share it with the world. And so I put in the time to understand it, to make it simple, and then I share it with the world. When I'm done journaling, I go out and I exercise. And not only am I working on my physical strength in that exercise routine, but I'm listening to worship music as well, which is another layer of spiritual strength that I'm adding on to myself, that health there. And then I have a whiteboard in my workout space. And so many times I'll be exercising after I read the book, and then a great idea will come to me, and I capture that on the whiteboard. And some of you all have seen my posts where I take a picture of the whiteboard that's in my gym and then I post that. And it's usually just a model that came to me while I was exercising. And I do get a lot of ideas while I'm exercising. And so I'm just, again, I'm getting myself combat ready by doing this routine, but along the way, I'm doing the thinking that I know if you do the thinking, you will be a steady leader because you're going to respond to things. You're not going to react to them. So much of the time that I spend thinking every single day is before the day even starts. And a lot of that great thinking time is while I'm exercising. And to me, it's a good use of time. Now, when you're done doing the physical exercise, I pray again, and it's a different type of prayer. When I'm reading the scripture, I wrap that up with prayer, and that's where I go to God for all of my intentions. That spiritually He fulfills me and directs me on the things that I'm going to do for the day. When I'm done exercising and I go to the last step here of prayer, I'm expressing gratitude. Look, I woke up, I had air in my lungs, I had a beating heart. I've spent time in the Word, I've thought, I've received ideas, and then I've gone and moved my body. I'm grateful for all of that because I know all of that's a gift, and I express that. And so, I've sharpened myself mentally, I've sharpened myself spiritually, sharpened myself physically, and then I've expressed gratitude. And as you can imagine, in that moment, I've gotten better in all those ways, and then I have great energy about myself. And so the cool thing is once you do this morning routine and you have this great energy, then you're excited to transfer that energy into other people. And so I practice this on my kids, and it's always funny when I go up there. As you can imagine, I'm sweaty, I'm excited, and I'm going to wake someone up. So just imagine if I was waking you up, it'd be a nightmare. Um, so I go wake my son up first, and my son's young enough that he believes being nice and polite is just repeating back what you're saying to him if you give him a compliment. And so I go and wake him up and I say, "Hey man, I just been missing you so much." He's like, "Oh, I miss you too, Dad." He just woke up. And then I move on and I say, "I'm just so proud of you. I'm proud of who you are. I'm proud of just how great you are and how cool you are, how good of a brother you are to your sister. Yeah, I'm so proud of you." And he's like, "I'm proud of you too, Dad." And I say, "Hey, we're gonna have a great day." And he says, "Yep." And we get up and go. Now, in that moment, my son woke up and he knows that his father's been missing him, that he's excited to see him. He knows that his father is proud of him. It doesn't matter what happened yesterday or what's going to happen today. Like I'm just so proud of him. So I'm affirming him. And then I didn't give him a choice. I told him that we're going to have a great day. I didn't say this might be a great day. I said it's going to be a great day. And I did it with excitement and energy. And so I transfer that energy to him, and I know he takes it, and he's gonna take that to school. And then I go do the same thing to my daughter, and then I try to come in and I do the same thing to the teammates here that we have in our businesses. I try to do it with my clients. I'm pouring that positive energy into everyone, and I think that that might be the highest payoff of all of this, is that when you work on yourself in this way every single day, not only are you raising the lid of your own personal capability because you're putting in the work, but you're going to have such great energy that you can go to your team and you can pour into them and give and help them become the best version that they can be for themselves that day. And that's going to make all boats rise, and it's going to make your business rise as well. And so you can get better every single day. We can make progress every single day, but it takes doing something. And I don't want you doing it entrepreneurially. I want you taking a process. I want you implementing a model to do it And this is my model for doing it. And so I hope you take this and you start with it. You put your own innovation on top of it for your own self and in the assets that you have that you can leverage. And then I hope you become better every single day as a leader so that you can be steady for your organization. Hey, if you like this content and you want more of it, go into the show notes and sign up for our Steady Leader email. Every single Friday, I'm sending out my best models on how I'm conducting myself as a steady leader.